Hello and welcome to the second iteration of our Let's Play Towns. I am Splattercat, as always, and I will be your guide through this process. I'm hoping they're not overproducing barrels. Last episode, I had them produce barrels. I'm hoping they're still not stamping out barrels like fiends. Okay, we have 3 extra food barrels, so those are just going to hang out over there, I guess. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of them. I don't really need that many barrels. That was kind of an accident that I produced that many barrels. Where we were at is we were getting our mill built, and we were taking a look at the various things we were going to need to survive. We actually, once the mill is up and running, we shouldn't have to worry about gathering fruit anymore. We should be good to go on fruit. And I'm going to continue just chopping down trees like crazy because trees are the enemy right now. We need lots of building space. I am going to get rid of that carnivorous plant because accidents do happen. All of my peasants are armed with hammers, so hopefully nothing goes wrong and they can all continue to be alive, because being alive is much better than being dead. I mean, I wouldn't know, but that would be my estimation. That would be my, I guess, my amateur hypothesis, that being alive is probably better than being dead. But our mills are up and running now, so hopefully someone will get going making bread. We have plenty of wheat growing, and I'm hoping we can actually get some wood growing now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant some wood, plant some trees so that we can grow. I'm going to go with the birch looking trees because I like them better. So there we are. Get our birch trees planted, and I don't think we'll need much more than 3 rows. 3 rows seems pretty generous. So now bread is being prepared here, as you can see, so that's gonna basically keep us running better than we would have before. What I would like to do is I think I would like to extend this tilled zone out a little bit further, because I would like to have a little region for fruit trees. So there we are, we'll get them tilling on that as well. Food production is always going to be at the top of the list, so you don't have to worry too much about starving once you have your bread going. I would like to start making pies and things, but I've actually read into the efficiency of making pies, and I was actually pretty disappointed with it takes like a few extra seconds to make a pie, and those extra seconds actually cost more food than you produce by making the pies, so I'm going to stop making them. That was another mistake I made in the last Let's Play. Alternatively, we're going to have some nice golden wheat fields here. We should have some nice trees ready for harvesting over here as well. I was noticing we ran out of wood, which is another issue you kind of want to avoid. I'm going to keep them harvesting these trees. This may be the last harvest of these trees before I chop them down. And once I chop them down, we're not going to have to worry about it anymore. We should be absolutely golden. So we have a pretty sizable work queue running right now, so I'm just going to kind of sit and let them do their thing while I look around the map for resources, which I never got around to. Usually that's the first step in everything I do. If you saw my tutorial, that was my first step there. Here I got a little excited because I was like, oh god, I had to pull videos down and I got to get something back up for the viewers, and you know, I like to remain productive, and taking videos down is generally a course of action that I try to avoid. Just taking a look. We do have coal up here, so we may be at odds with the froggies for that, because I do want coal, but more than anything I want iron. Copper would be nice too, but oh, this island is going to be so much fun. This island is going to be amazing. I'm going to build the most awesome something on this island. It's going to be incredible. It's gonna be super awesome, you guys. I do want to get a market put in place, though. Let me get a market built real fast. There we are. And we'll put the market right next to our stockpile, because that's where they have to haul from anyways. That's not going to be the permanent location for our market. I would like our market, actually, I'd like to build kind of like a pier out here, and just kind of like a pier market. Might be kind of cool. Might be an interesting idea, but we'll see what happens in the future. They're tilling out the ground right now, which is good. That means they're catching up on the work queue. I don't want them to overproduce flour, and that's what I had talked about in a previous episode, but I can't remedy that issue until I have enough wood to do so. And this is one thing that I wish I had covered in my... I wish I covered this in my tutorial, because this is actually a really useful trick for everything in the game. If you want to control how many items your guys gather, and you don't have a specific, and by specific I mean you don't have a panel, like right here I can say specifically I always want to have 10 food barrels, but for certain things like bread, or not bread, but for flour is the perfect example, you need to be a little bit creative to eliminate that problem. Hopefully after they get done tilling, everybody will head up here and take care of business up here, and we'll get our fruit trees planted. We have plenty of bread now, so we don't need to concern ourselves with fruit for too much longer. I do want to find iron, because really your number 2 goal that you always want to be working towards, even when you're opening up the dungeon, if you got heroes running around, you still want to basically get yourself in the position where you're producing meat, like whether it's roasts, meat pies, etc. That's what you want to be producing. I'm going to go ahead here and get fruit trees going. I'm not going to be making fruit pies, but it never hurts to have fruit trees on hand. So there we go. We'll do a couple strings of fruit trees, and then we'll also plant some more birch trees right there. I'm going to go to my resources menu now, and I'm going to try and control how much wood I always want to have on hand. So we've got planted trees, and I would like to keep, I think, 40 wood on hand seems about right for mass construction and things of that nature. They're going to get out here and chop down all this stuff. I was kind of thinking about doing an underground stockpile, but that's a little difficult to do until you hit the first dungeon. I'm leaving this stone alone here for now because I don't want anyone to fall into the water, which you can see the cracks right there. You can see that there's water underneath some of this, so you want to be careful. Drowning townies are really not on the itinerary for the moment, so we do have our prepared food barrel. They're not going to haul that, unfortunately, for a while, but we do have a lot of wood, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain precisely how I'm going to take care of this issue here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mills and let me destroy some of this flour so that it's not in the way. What I'm going to do is make an enclosure, much like I would for a farming area. And you can hear that when you go over the amount of wood, so when your wood drops below, they will automatically start chopping. I covered this in the tutorial, I think it was in episode 1 or 2, but I'll reiterate on everything as I go by as well. We're at day 5 right now, and we're moving along nicely. We're not exploding, though. Our population is not blowing up. What I would like to do is just get some personal houses going. I'm thinking the road is going to run this way, up through here. So I kind of want to mark that. I wish you could leave markers on the ground, like color it red or something, so that you knew what your goal was. But what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to keep our houses small for the moment because I don't want to have ridiculous amounts of huge houses that I have to fill in, because that means downtime for you guys. It means downtime for my videos because I have to go and let these run in between episodes if I do things like that. So, and it dropped my zoning. That's unfortunate. And I don't want people to get too far out of town right now for their housing needs. I do want them to stay reasonably close to town. We're just going to set up some very basic huts at the moment, and we're just going to try and keep those where we would like them. And we'll do another row, I think, just to make sure everybody's taken care of, because we need 11 houses, and this will give us, it looks like we're at 9 right now after this one. And we're going to keep building. I'm thinking a 4x4 there, and a 4x4 there. And that puts us nicely at a house for everyone. And some people like to build their houses differently. I'm not going to get super creative until I get my basics in place. You can hear people are going to work chopping. There's a lot of stuff going on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise up to the second layer, and I'm going to make this 2 layers high, so that nobody can just jump the fence. That's really what we want to avoid now, is we want to get this tall enough to where it's an enclosure. And hopefully they'll build in the proper order and they won't do anything stupid and I won't have to build any scaffoldings. It's hard to tell sometimes what your townies are thinking. I get the feeling these prepared food barrels are going to go woefully to waste just because my work queue is so high. We do have houses built for everybody now though, which means we can get to work raising happiness. Oops, I didn't mean to delete the market, I meant to destroy the flowers, so that's fine though. We'll go ahead and we'll destroy that stockpile and we're going to put the market right here in the middle of everything. Actually, I'm going to save that spot for the tavern, I think. I'll go ahead and put the market over here. Just move it back a little bit. We'll have a nice little rectangular market here. And I'm going to extend it so that it lines up with everything properly. And there we are. So our market's in place. I'm liking the layout so far. I'm liking this a little better than what I had before. I am glad that we decided to take a detour and try something different. And there we are. So now what I'm going to show you is we can actually create kind of a retaining system, kind of a binary on-off switch for our production. I'm going to go to furniture and doors here. And on layer 1, I'm going to put a door right there. What that door is going to do is I can lock it to keep townies from getting in there. So if I'm producing too much flour, it kind of creates a situation where I can, instead of having to click both of these, or in the future I'm going to have probably 4 of them here, instead of having to click every single mill and go turn off automatic production, turn off automatic production, you can actually just click the door here, and what you'll see is there's an option to lock the door. When you lock the door, no one can get in here to produce any more flour. Now in the future, I'm hoping they'll start hauling this flour elsewhere. At the moment, I don't have any food barrels that they can move these things to. The next thing that I'd like to get to work on is getting, well, wood is in order, so we can start producing things for our houses that only require wood. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting in, let me get rid of some of these bushes and things that are in the way. There we are. And I think we'll throw some beds in each of these. And I'm just gonna kind of place them randomly in a corner here so that we have some inclination of order, but at the same time there's a little bit of chaos. Like everybody likes their bed in a different spot in the room. Some people like to center theirs. Some people like to have it up against a wall. So that should get everybody up and mobile on making some beds. Continue destroying some of these flowers and things. You can see here that our tree farm is going fantastically. I'm not giving my people a lot of time to haul right now. That's fine. They don't really need a lot of time to haul. They're going to put all this stuff in the houses. And what I would like to do is I'm going to take a look at decorations here. And we're going to go ahead and start putting decorations in people's houses too, so that we can keep happiness up. And we're just going to give everybody a little foot trunk here. Except for you, because your bed's in a weird spot. Your bed's in a weird spot, so we'll put your trunk up here. And there we are. So now our people are busy. You can see they're slowing down a little bit on screen. The frame rate drops when you've got large amounts of work orders running. And so that's right about where I want to be for the end of episode 2. My name is Splattercat. Thank you so much for joining me in episode 2. And I will see you in episode 3. If you enjoy the videos, please do consider liking and subbing. Everything helps me promote the channel, and it helps me get more videos out there. So if you like what I do and you want me to keep making videos, help me out a little bit. Spare me a click and give me a like. I'll see you next time, guys.